Okay, Mitsubishi Triton clock spring replacement, including airbag removal. This one is a 2016 Mitsubishi Triton. We are going to show you how to replace the clock spring and also how to safely remove the airbag to do that. Let's get into it. Okay, Mitsubishi Triton airbag removal, driver's airbag removal on a Mitsubishi Triton. This is a 2016 model. It'll be same 2017, 2018, 2019, so on and so forth. 2015 probably even. So we have had our battery disconnected now for about 5 minutes, and foot on the brake. That's just to dispel any capacitor charge or anything that is going to be able to power the airbag. On the side here, there's two holes. Ignore that one. This one here is the one you want, and we just need something to get in there. I'm just using a screwdriver, and we're just going to push in. There's a spring clip in there, so we're just going to push it, and that's going to allow the airbag to pop out. So we're going to do that side. We're going to hold this side forward, and we'll do the other side. Okay, and then there's also one at the bottom. So if you get those top two out first, once you get that bottom one, it comes out fairly easily. Okay, and then we're just going to turn that carefully. Okay, we just need a little pick or something to flick this centre yellow piece out so we can undo our plug. These pieces are very important, don't lose them. When you release that, it actually disconnects the connection with the airbag, so if you lose that and don't put it back in, the airbag will never reconnect again. Cool. So you can pull that one out, and then this little horn wire's actually got this little tab on it, just at the top there. You see that little tab? So you actually pull that back to get that one to release. Okay. So that is airbag removal for our Triton. We are just going to sit them under the passenger side dash, and we are carrying on now. We're actually replacing the clock spring on this. So clock spring replacement on Mitsubishi Triton 2016. So now we're going to undo our steering wheel here. Cool, so loosen that off if you don't have a gun like we do. Then tucking your knees under the steering wheel can help for a bit of resistance to hold it while you put a bar on it. I'm going to use that technique when we do it back up. First thing we're going to do, take our nut right off, and we are going to put a mark on here for the alignment of the steering wheel to make sure we can get it back on centrally. Okay, so we are just going to mark at one position where our steering wheel is going to go back on, so we get it back in the right place. Then we're just going to start our nut back on there. We can undo these plugs up the top here. There is the plug for the airbag, but also the other plug next door is for the audio controls. Yeah, just the stuff you see on the sides of the steering wheel. Cruise control and audio controls there. Okay, and then we're going to tuck our knees under the steering wheel to put a bit of pressure on it, and we're going to pull from the top of the steering wheel, and we can sort of wiggle it back and forward a bit as we pull on it quite hard. We need to have our nut on there so that we don't go flying backwards. If it's too tight, you may need to pull it into those two bolt holes. Can hold into those, sometimes they're too tight to do the way I just did that. Cool. That is our steering wheel off. Okay, and now we're just going to undo our covers, get them out of the way so we can do this clock spring. So there's the swan screw up under there, and then we are just going to try and pull these apart. They'll just be clipped together basically. Cool. The top one can kind of just hang out in there. Take that key out. plugs into here. Okay, so then we just need to, once we've got all the plugs undone, just push these tabs down on each side of here. There's one on the left, one on the right, and then up the top there's just a little tab that you'll see that's catching on. Just need to flick it up just to release that, to allow that clock spring to come off, and that is the clock spring removed. And now we just need to get our new one and slide that back in. We need to make sure it's centered as it goes in, and then recenter our steering wheel and everything with it. Cool. When you get your new clock spring, it'll have something in it anchoring it in the center that you need to pull out. What I like to do is to make sure that it is centered, and to do that basically turn it carefully by hand one way, so we go 1, 2, 3, that's almost 3 turns, so come back 1, 2, 3, and just go the other way, 1, 2, 3, and you're not pressing hard, it's just where you feel a little bit of resistance, so that's 3 and a bit, so from there 1, 2, 3, and I know that's centered. Cool, covers back on. Plug it in first. Well, actually, we're missing part of this. We've got to change over this part on the back here. So this whole ring on the back we need to change over. Which is just going to be all these little clips around here. I'm just pulling those back so we can release it, and then that just presses in there, so put that back on now. After I found the center, I just re-locked it since I was taking it off again. Okay, now we can plug it in because all the plugs are there. Cool, and our yellow one there, just got to lock them in. Cool, and now covers back on. Okay, now we need to release this. We're going to put our steering wheel back on. So as it goes. Okay, and make sure we have our mark lined up there. Now, if you don't have a scan tool, at this point you want to do this back up and just put it all back together before you reconnect your battery. What I generally do is I will just start this on here. I'll just drive it down the road. I'm going to make sure that my steering wheel is straight, okay, and then so yeah, I'm just doing that up finger tight. I'm going to make sure my steering wheel is tight before I straighten it, before I tighten it, and then I will need to clear a code because I've got the airbag disconnected. While I do that, I'm going to put a code into this, but because we've got a scan tool, we can fix that. Okay, so we've been down the road now, made sure this is all nice and straight. The reason we're doing the clock spring in this one is so that because the horn wasn't working, so we can just make sure now that we've got horn by touching that onto the earth of the shaft. I am now going to disconnect the battery and leave it to sit again while I go and look up the torque setting for this nut. Cool, 41 Newton meters is our torque setting. So again, just using my knees under here to hold the wheel while I'm doing that. Now in terms of the horn, of course, we did check other things first. We made sure there's no power going to the horn, and then I checked the fuse, and then I checked if there was any switching power going to the relay, which there wasn't, and that's what directed me to the clock spring. Clock springs are a common issue for horns not working. Okay, make sure you got this guy plugged in. Going to plug our horn back in. Our battery has been sitting off again for the last few minutes. Okay, all on there. Okay, make sure this guy is sitting up still. Push him in and then push that in, otherwise it won't connect. Alright, and then just got to line this all up, and then it will just push back in. So you can see here you've got like the pins, got to line up the holes. Oh, one's not going to go off because our battery is disconnected, and that is all clipped in. So that is airbag removal and replacement and clock spring replacement on a Mitsubishi Triton for when your horn is not working. So just a note on the horn not working, if you come into this one here. Okay, this one here is your horn fuse, this one here is the horn relay, and you can see that on here, horn fuse, horn relay. Okay, so what we were checking for, getting someone to press the horn, so you've got two big terminals, that's what's getting switched, these are the ones doing the switching. So you're checking for power coming through one of these when you're pressing the horn. We weren't getting that, okay. If you were getting that, horn was okay, and no power was getting down to your horns, which are under here, then you would be looking at the relay itself. We can start it up. So my airbag light is going to go out, but I'm still going to scan it and just make sure it's clear of any codes. What you want to do after you start it is just turn the wheel full lock each way. And then make sure your horn works and you've got no airbag light. Okay, making sure you've got that thing centered properly. If you didn't and you now have an airbag light, you just broke your new clock spring.
Okay, I hope that has helped you out today. Don't forget to click the like button and also click the subscribe while you're there. We've got a bunch of diagnostic solutions and tips and tricks for professional mechanics like ourselves, and also for the serious DIYers at home. So click that subscribe and the bell so you get notified, and we will see you in the next video.